What's happening, people? Big up, everyone. Hope we are all doing well. Liverpool Prophet back again with another live stream. Hope we're all doing good, man. Big up to you all. Big up to every single one of you locked in the building. Hope we are all good. And yeah, man, we are here to discuss, well, anything and everything Liverpool related, man. Anything and everything Liverpool related. Um, Hope we're all good. Hope we are all good. Um, and yeah, man. Big up to everyone in the building. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Um, Hopefully I'm live. I think you guys should be able to see me live. Um, Hope we're all good, man. Let's. That took a little while to go live, but whatever, is what it is. All. Um, so you know what? I don't know why I've put this off for so long. But we are going to discuss a bit about the Chelsea game. Originally I was going to do this on a Monday, but with with the show with Indian Scouser, of course, and then yesterday, Tuesday, I usually take the day off. I decided that we'll wait until today to discuss the Chelsea game. So let's discuss a bit about the Chelsea game today. We'll discuss the aftermath of it as well a little bit. And yeah, big up to everyone, man. As you can see, guys, I have made a little bit of an adjustment to the background there. Look, I couldn't have on a slot in the background no more. I didn't even realize I had him in there until it was pointed out to me a while ago. I couldn't have him in there no more, man. I had to make some minor adjustments. I hope you guys like it, by the way. Hopefully you guys like it, man. And big up to Vids, man. Big up to my brother Vids for designing that background. It means a lot, man. Big up yourself, bro. If you are watching, much appreciated as always. And yeah, having said that, guys, let's waste no more time and get straight into discussing the game and discussing everything Liverpool related. So, people, Liverpool versus Chelsea at the weekend. I mean, where do we even start, man? Where do we even start on this one? The biggest mid-off you'll ever see. Let's be totally honest. This was arguably the biggest mid-off you'll ever see. Now, from a quality perspective in the game, it wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. Chelsea actually gave it a bit of a go. We gave it a bit of a go as well. Obviously, we're at home, we're the home team. You would expect that. But let's be honest, it was a mid-off. That game, I think, perfectly encapsulates just how poor both sides are this season. More so, it reflects on us than it does them. But yeah, man, when you look at the likes of Europe, when you look at the teams in and around Europe, you look at the likes of Bayern Munich, you look at the likes of Paris Saint-Germain, even the likes of Barcelona. It really pains me to say it, but we're so far off these teams, aren't we, man? We are so far off these teams. It's amazing because we used to be better than Bayern Munich at one point. We used to be better than Barcelona at one point. We used to be better than Paris Saint-Germain at one point. In fact, we used to be clear of these clubs or these teams on the pitch. And now it's a very, very different scenario, man. It hurts. It hurts to see us in the situation we are. It hurts to see my club not being where I expect them to be and where I want them to be. Ultimately, I'm a Liverpool supporter at the end of the day. I always want to see my team win the Champions League, like you can see Alonso and Gerrard right there in the background did all the way back in 2005, like we did back in 2019 when we beat Spurs in Madrid. I always want to see us win the Premier League. We didn't win a Prem for 30 years, people. You know, these boys broke that 30-year drought. You know what I'm saying? So I'll forever be grateful. I always want to see the big trophies, man. You know, and that FA Cup's good and the Carabao Cup's good. Cool. I'm not disrespecting those competitions at all. Never will. But I really, 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 really prefer to be up there challenging for the major honours. And in my opinion, we're so far off that at the moment, and it hurts to say. It really, really hurts to say, man. We're so far off it, it's unreal. But as for the game at the weekend, Liverpool, Chelsea, sorry. So we know what happened in the reverse fixture, don't we, people? In the reverse fixture, Liverpool came into the game off the back of 2 back-to-back losses against Palace away at that point, which we were smoked in. Alisson saved us. Could have been worse than 2-1. And we had a Champions League midweek defeat to Galatasaray 1-0, I believe it was. So we came into that game back at Stamford Bridge in I want to say it was early October time. We played them after the back of 2 losses. They weren't particularly great either. Big up Brian, man. Good morning, Brian. Hope you're doing well. A good game for a friend. Yeah, not a bad watch. Better than I expected, but still, the quality level was really lacking, wasn't it? Let's be honest. So for game at Stamford Bridge, I know Chelsea didn't come into that game off the back of the best form either. I think they lost to United at that point. Amarim's United. They'd lost 1 or 2 other games as well at that point. And they had a lot of injuries coming into the game. I remember that game very, very vividly. Chelsea had a lot of injuries going into that game. And still, at Stamford Bridge, they had more of the ball than us. They were the better team than us, and they dominated us. And we got done, I think, by, was it an Esteval last minute goal? I want to say it was Esteval. I think it was Esteval. A last minute Esteval goal wins them the game. Very, very annoying. Very annoying, because that game at Stamford Bridge, on paper, you'd think we'd win it. We should be going into that game winning it. When you look at the squad we had going into the game and the squad they had going into the game. And they just completely dominated us, man. Deserving 2-1 winners in that game. So that was the reverse fixture. Prior to that, it was Esteval. Yeah, it was Esteval last minute. Yeah, my bad, it was. Before that, Liverpool-Chelsea games, they're known for being draws, aren't they? They're notoriously known for being draws. Last season, after we won the league, they beat us 3-1 at Stamford Bridge. Early that year, last season, we beat them 2-1 at Anfield. Year before that, it was a 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge. We beat them 4-1 at Anfield. Year before that, 2 draws. Year before that, 2 draws as well. So, and then the year before that, it was a Liverpool win and a Chelsea win. So, yeah, man, it's I don't know what it is with Liverpool Chelsea, man. Either it's a 1-1 draw or it's a 0-0 draw. It's never, isn't it? There hasn't really been a winner between the two sides in recent years. It's known for being a big mid-off at the moment, isn't it? Let's be honest. Big up Josh, man. Big up to Josh, man. Make sure you do sub to Joshua, guys. Doing some great content over on his channel. Mind you, do get his link in the chat if you can, people. Big up Snubbing Alonso to keep slot extremely risky. I'm hoping it's just they're just putting it out there, just in the media that they're backing him. You know, they're just trying to make out that they are going to back him and they are still going to get rid of him. I still believe that to an extent. But if we are going to snub him and let him go to Chelsea to keep Arne Slot around, it's extremely risky. And let's be honest, well, it ain't going to work. We know it's going to backfire. We know it's going to backfire differently. So, honestly, he's available now. Make the change, man. Stop being stubborn. But yeah, I'm hoping they're just putting it out there in the media and they still do intend to get rid of him. But remains to be seen, man. Remains to be seen. Big up yourself, though, bro. Appreciate you being in. Mods, do get Josh's link in the chat. There it is, guys. Big up Huge as well, man. Good morning, Huge. Hope you're well as well. But yeah, there's Josh's link, guys. Do sub. Go show Josh some love, man. But yeah, people. Liverpool-Chelsea games known notoriously for being draws. Our last win at Stamford Bridge, ironically, was back in the COVID season, which was 2020, 2021, I believe, when we beat them 2-0. Mane scored a brace and it was 2 Kepa mistakes or something like that. You got to go back 6 years when we last won at Stamford Bridge, which is absolute fucking insanity if you ask me, man. 6 years and we ain't won at Stamford Bridge. That, I'm going to be honest, that ain't good enough. It really isn't. When you look at the teams Chelsea have had since then, look at the manager merry-go-round they've had. You know, in that time they've had Tuchel, they've had Lampard twice, they've had Pochettino, Maresca, Potter. We still haven't been able to get a win at Stamford Bridge with all these coaches around. It's madness. Crazy how you're still comfortably getting UCL football after your performances this year. Honestly, Josh, it's baffling to me as well, man. Based off of our performances, based off of how we've played, I don't know how we're 5th, and I don't know how we're going to get Champions League football. It just kind of goes to show how poor the Premier League's been this season from a quality perspective. You know what I'm saying? It just goes to show how bad it's been. And it goes to show how bad Chelsea have been really as well, because Chelsea have been so bad that they've allowed Liverpool to just stay in the Champions League places and stay 5th and 4th. If Chelsea were a bit more consistent, if they'd kept Maresca even, I think they'd be above us right now. I can't lie. I do think Chelsea would be above us if they kept Maresca. So because they're so bad, it's allowed us to just um, be in fifth. But in a regular Premier League season, I'll be honest, we'd be 11th, 12th. We genuinely would. You know, this is a unique Premier League season for a lot of reasons. Um, and it shows the quality ain't there. Because in a normal Prem season, we wouldn't even be in the top 10, low key. We wouldn't. Chelsea, they'd be sat 15th, 16th. I can't lie. In a regular season, Spurs would be sat bottom, let's be honest. Um, but yeah, man, it's crazy. And we're only there at the end of the day because other teams have been crap, let's be honest, Josh. It's the only reason we're there. But yeah, Brian, don't believe the media. Exactly. They just said what the club want. I'm sure Chelsea said they were sticking with Rossini, didn't they? I'm sure Chelsea were saying that they were going to stick with Rossini, and they ended up binning him a couple of days later. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I think a lot of it is media hype for sure. They try and put a message across when they intend to do the opposite. Oh, I ain't going to complain about the league quality if we finally win. Hey, listen, Josh, I'm not begrudging Arsenal anything, man. You know, I'll be one of the first to congratulate Arsenal if they win the league. That's me anyway. A lot of other people are going to be incredibly salty about it. But look, if your team's top of the table, if you're winning the league, you're not going to complain about the quality level. I certainly didn't complain about the quality level last season. Granted, it was nowhere near as bad as it is this year, but I certainly wasn't complaining about it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, look, Arsenal fans won't give a crap, man. All they care about is winning the league, and as they should. You know what I'm saying? You're top. It's not everyone else's problem that everyone else is crap. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I do think you'll get it over the line, Josh. I did say if you beat West Ham, which you did, I think you got it over the line. Burnley and Palace next. Burnley are dead and out. And the Palace game, they will rotate, won't they? Because they're in Europe. So, yeah, I think Arsenal are going to get this over the line. I can't lie. Big up to Clive, man. Big up, Clive. Hope you're doing well, mate. I am. Hope you are as well. But yeah, back to this Chelsea game then at the weekend. So we were coming into this game again, not on a bit of hit and miss form. Let's be honest. Coming into the game off the back of a 3-2 loss at Old Trafford. Before that, a 3-1 win against Crystal Palace. Before that, a 2-1 win against Everton. Before that, a 2-0 win against Fulham. In between that, sandwiching both the 2-0s against Paris Saint-Germain, but we got knocked out for UCL. So since getting knocked out for UCL, we had two very good results in Everton away and Palace at home. The Derby win, first one out of a new ground, and the Palace game at home. I went into the United game thinking, okay, maybe we've got something going, and then it just reverts back to us being shit again, which is very, very annoying. And then for this game, going into this Chelsea game at the weekend, I kind of expected us to win. I can't lie. I didn't expect us to win because we were good, because that's not the case this season. I expected us to win more so because I felt Chelsea were just that bad, and we were playing them at the right time. Rossini got the dreaded vote of confidence 24 hours later. He was sacked. Yeah, exactly, Brian. So this is what clubs do, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what clubs do. I remember Madrid have done it a lot of times as well, man. I think Madrid did it with Alonso, where they said they were going to back him, and then boom, he decides to walk away. So, yeah, man, clubs do this. They always put out into the media that they're backing the head coach or this, that, and then boom, end of the season, he's gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Chelsea did the same with Pochettino as well when they ended up getting rid of him. Sure, they were backing him as well, or they were publicly saying they were backing him. So, yeah, man, you don't want to believe anything they say. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna ultimately, we have got no idea what is going to happen with Arne Slot. We really don't. We're just going to have to wait until the end of the season to see what happens with that. Big up, Clive, man. Glad to know you're doing well. Big up yourself. Joe was the most predictable outcome. Yeah, that West Ham Arsenal game had Joe written all over it, didn't it? And it almost did, man. Arsenal almost did screw it up just at the end. I don't know how you feel about the disallowed goal, but I personally felt it was the correct decision ruling it out. I think it was the correct decision ruling it out. People are getting all rattled about it. The amount of salt I've seen from rival fans over that decision, like, genuinely, man, haven't you got bigger things to worry about? The amount of Chelsea fans I see crying, brother, worry about finishing in the top 10. The amount of Spurs fans I saw crying, which was absolutely ridiculous, by the way. You need West Ham or to lose because you're in a relegation battle. The amount of Spurs fans that wanted Arsenal to lose. Honestly, what the hell is going through your brain, man? Real talk. But yeah, rivals need to stop giving a fuck what Arsenal are doing. I've seen this a lot this season, and it has pissed me off a bit. You know, people are way too obsessed with Arsenal winning the league. Brother, worry about your home club. You know what I'm saying? It's annoying, man. It angers me when I see a club or a set of fans doing more for another club than they do for their own club. Chelsea should be worried about getting in the top 10, not hate watching on Arsenal. Spurs should be worried about staying in the Premier League, not hate watching on Arsenal. But yeah, man, I think it was a correct goal, a correctly disallowed goal. Personally, Josh, don't know how you feel about it. Liverpool versus Chelsea, I bet 0-0 like January 2023. Still a draw and apparently a crap game of football. You know what, Josh? It was crap, and then it was. You know what? Maybe it's because I've seen a lot worse this season that I actually think it was a decent game. Maybe that's just me, but the quality levels in between both teams was really low. You could tell just by watching it. You know, both teams are not where they need to be, man. It looks worse on us though than it does them. If we're being honest about it, it does look a lot worse on us than it does them. Going into the game, we did have a couple of injuries, but then we had the same injuries against United as well. We know Alisson's not available. We know Mohamed Salah wasn't available. We know, well, we weren't sure, to be fair, about Isak, whether he was going to be available, whether he'd be on the bench, or whether he wouldn't be in the team at all. Wirtz literally picked up a knock last minute in training, I think. So he got ruled out for the game. So ultimately, the manager was forced to play Rio. He might not have wanted to do it. And I don't think he did want to do it. I don't think he had any intention of playing Rio. But because of the injury to Wirtz, I feel he had no choice but to shoehorn Rio into the team. So yeah, the lineup wasn't too bad. He didn't start with Isak, even though Isak was on the bench, which I can see why, to be fair, because Isak did just pick up another injury. He's just come back, and I don't really think Slot wants to risk him again. Low key, I don't think he wants to risk him again. Such a shame that Salah couldn't play at Old Trafford for the last time. Yeah, Josh, it's a big shame, man. You know, we know how much Salah loves scoring against United at Anfield and especially at Old Trafford. You know what I'm saying? The only Liverpool player in history to score a hat-trick at their ground, low-key. That title will forever belong to Mohamed Salah. You know, he's the only Liverpool player in our history that's gone to their ground and bagged a hat-trick. I'm disappointed that he didn't play their one last time as well. I really feel he could have had some up for them if he did, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. He ain't even going to get a last game against Chelsea. I remember back in late 2019 when he banged in an absolute belter of a goal against Chelsea, man. You know, I would have liked to see him do something similar again, but that won't happen either. Is what it is, man. Clive, of course, we'll miss him, man. Of course, we'll miss him. You know what I'm saying? We'll always miss Mo. He's been a brilliant servant to us down the years. We'll always miss him. But yeah, the game started. Honestly, I thought we were decent for the first 15 minutes. Can I just say Gravenberch scored a spectacular goal, man. So credit to Ryan Gravenberch. You know, he hasn't had the best season. By no means has Ryan Gravenberch had the best season this year. However, that goal yesterday, not yesterday, on Saturday, brilliant goal, man. Took it very well. Arguably, that's up there for goal of the season. I can't lie. I would argue that is up there for goal of the season. I think it was a very good finish. So he put us 1-0 up within 6 minutes. And then you think to yourself, okay, we've got an early goal. We know Chelsea ain't coming to us in the best of form. By the way, guys, going into this game, Chelsea had actually lost. I believe it was 6 in a row. They had genuinely lost 6 games in a row, which is absolute madness, by the way. Madness that they've lost 6 in a row. The last Premier League win, and someone pointed it out yesterday on the show, the late night show, we did full-time vibes. Big up King Raston Vidge as always as well on that. Goes up to the brothers. But someone pointed out that Chelsea's last Premier League win was the 4-1 against Villa, which was back in winter, man, and we're in summer now, which is absolutely crazy. They haven't won since then. Lost 6 in a row. Coming to us basically like lambs to the slaughter, man. I know we weren't great, but at least our form was a little bit better than theirs. At least we were, we picked up a couple of wins here and there. You'd think on paper, with them being as bad as they are, we'd get the 3 points and win, but obviously fate had a different plan in mind, because after the first 15 minutes, where I think Liverpool were the better side, were dominant on the ball, I don't know what happened. I don't know whether it was just a subconscious thing. I don't know whether it was an instruction from Slot maybe, but we kind of stopped playing. We kind of retreated a bit. We kind of allowed Chelsea to control and dictate the game. We allowed them to have the ball. They had more possession in the game, which is mad. Considering Arne Slot bangs on about Liverpool being a team that he wants to, considering he says he wants us to be a team that has control a lot, considering he says he wants us to be a team that is very good on the ball and is a very possession-based side, we seem the total opposite of that this season. We're not good at keeping possession. We're not good when we're on the ball. When we do have it, we don't do much with it. So yeah, I don't know whether that was an instruction from him, whether it was a subconscious thing from the players, but the energy levels just dropped after 15 minutes. We kind of sat in a bit, went a bit more pragmatic, allowed Chelsea the ball. They did have more possession overall as well in the game, I think. First off, I think they had about 54% to our 46%. And I think overall in the game, they had 52% to our 48%. So that's another team that have come to Anfield this season and had more of the ball against us and dictated the game. I don't understand what Slot is trying to do here. Really, real talk. The football that he's saying he wants to play, the football that we're supposed to be playing under him, we're not playing. We're not a team that control games well. We're not. We can't control a game to save our lives. We're not a team that can keep the ball well, low key. So I don't know what he's on about when he says he wants to be a possession team or possession-based team with a lot of control, because the evidence on the pitch would suggest the total opposite of it. If you want to be like that, if you want to be a possession-based team, why would you tell the team to sit back after 1-0 on Saturday? Low-key, why would you do it? You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I don't believe much of what Slot says, man. I think he comes out with a load of rubbish at times, man. Honestly, I could get into all the shit that he said this year, man, but honestly, it'll just end up you'll end up going mad, man, because the amount of the lack of accountability and the amount of excuse making is absolutely crazy, man. It genuinely is crazy. So I ain't gonna get into all of that, but honestly, Chelsea were probably the better team from 15 minutes onwards. First 15 minutes, I think Liverpool were better, and it did look like maybe with them coming to us off the back of 6 hours in a row, maybe, just maybe, we'd have one of those games where we scored 2-3 goals, even 4. But yeah, that very quickly changed after the first 15 minutes. Chelsea got on the ball. They started to dictate it a bit more, and they were the team in control, really, with the ball, without the ball. That is crazy, by the way, people. Can I just say that Chelsea, without a manager, that's the worst bit here. This is, I'm not even going to say PE heater, because I think that's disrespectful. And I don't like being disrespectful to managers I don't know. Chelsea with an interim coach who's never managed before came to Anfield and played better football than Liverpool. An interim coach coached his team to have more possession than Arne Slot's Liverpool. I mean, need I say anything more, man? Real talk. Need I say anything more? The fact that an interim can come to Anfield and outdo Slot tactically, it's crazy. But I'm supposed to believe he's the guy to take us forward. Like, come on, man. Like, how stupid do you think we are, man? Real talk. How stupid do you think we are? It's very annoying. Very, very annoying. Honestly, on the balance of play, was a draw probably a fair result? You can argue it was a fair result, yeah. You can argue a draw probably was a fair result. Both teams did have a couple of chances in the game. But I really would love to know what Slot told the team to do after that first 15 minutes, because I feel after 1-0, Chelsea were there for the taking, man. I feel we allowed them to look as good as they did, which is another problem in itself, that we can allow them, being as bad as they are, to look as good as they are in a game. Real talk, man. I'm not trying to hate on Chelsea or discredit Chelsea, but I genuinely do think that we made them look better than they are. And we've done that against a lot of teams this season. We made United look better than they are on 2 occasions. At Old Trafford the other week and at Anfield earlier in the season. We made Spurs look better than they are by letting them come Anfield and get a point. We've made, again, Chelsea look better than they are by beating us at Stamford Bridge and now beating us at Anfield. City haven't been great this season, guys. Let's just be honest about it. Manchester City this season have not been great. We've made them look better than they are by beating us 3-0 at the Etihad and 2-1 at Anfield. The only team that we've done well against this season over 2 games in the Big Six is Arsenal by beating them at home with the Szoboszlai free kick and getting a 0-0 draw at the Emirates, where I think we were the better side and deserved a point. Could have got a win on the night as well if maybe we had another maybe a Salah or Ekitike available for the game. But we've done this a lot this season, where we've made opposition sides look better than they are because we are just that bad. You know what I'm saying? Chelsea are not a good side. I'm sorry, they're not. They've been a very, very poor side this season. Even under Maresca, they were very hit and miss, let's be honest. They started off well, dipped a bit, then they got back up there again. We're in a bit of a title race up until around early December time. Fell off a bit towards the end. He ends up getting sacked around January-ish time. You bring in this Liam Machini guy, starts off well, then eventually just completely loses the plot. Loses 5 in a row or something like that. Ends up getting sacked. You then bring in an interim again. Chelsea have had a very, very, very unique season, I'll say that. They've had a very poor season as well. Going into this season, as a Chelsea fan, I don't know what your expectations would have been, but they won 2 trophies last year. Enzo Maresca in his first season at Chelsea won 2 trophies. They won the Conference League, and they surprisingly won that the Club World Cup by beating Paris Saint-Germain, which was a surprise because I don't think anyone would have expected Chelsea to go and beat Paris Saint-Germain 3-0. You know what I'm saying? So, first season, Maresca did well. He qualified them for the Champions League, finishing in the top 5, got them 2 trophies. But then it's about, okay, can you kick on? What can we do from here? And let's be honest, they've regressed. Chelsea have regressed, man. They've regressed from, again, being in a position of strength and being in a position to really push on. They've gone backwards again, and they've done it a couple of times over the last couple of years. When you scored, I thought it was going to be 3 or 4-0. So did I, Brian. I thought the floodgates were going to open, man. I really thought the floodgates were going to open. But again, I think we approached the game wrong after 15 minutes. And if we kept the foot on the neck a bit, I think we could have scored a couple more goals, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Chelsea's season has been poor. I don't know who it was now, but someone was doing this debate the other day, yeah, and they were discussing who's had the worst season out of Liverpool and Chelsea. And interestingly, I had to sit there and think, oh, that is a good question. And ultimately, I want to ask you guys in the chat, who do you guys think's had the worst season out of Liverpool and Chelsea? Because it's an interesting question. For me, it's got to be us. I have to be honest, it has to be us who's had the worst season. In my opinion, with the money we spent, with us being defending champions, the money we spent, you'd have expected us to go back-to-back. And we've had a bad year. Chelsea, on the other hand, again, last year were decent, finished in the top 5, won 2 trophies. They look like now they're going to finish mid-table, 11th to 12th, which is mad. So we've both had very bad seasons, but I would have to say because we're the champions, because of the money we spent, we've probably had a worse season than they have. I've got to be totally honest about it. I've got to be totally honest about it. So, who do you guys think's had a worse season at Liverpool and Chelsea, guys? It will be interesting hearing your opinions in the chat. But yeah, Chelsea finishing mid-table again for this. This will be the second time I think under this new regime, this new ownership they have, that they're going to finish. Well, they're going to finish mid-table. The first season under the new ownership, they finished 12th to 11th, something like that. This is now going to be the second time. And I'm going to be honest, considering Chelsea are meant to be an established Champions League side year in, year out, and competing, which is what they were doing under Roman Abramovich, it should be setting alarm bells off in people's heads that this is the second time under their new board and their new regime that they're going to be they're going to finish mid-table. If I look at their league finishes since the new ownership came in, I believe their new ownership came in halfway through the 21-22 season. If I'm correct, I think it's halfway through that season they came in. The first full season under their new ownership, they sacked Tuchel, brought in Potter. Then Lampard came in. It was a bit of a madness. They finished 12th or 11th, somewhere like that. Second full season under Pochettino, I think they finished 7th. Then third season was last season. They finished 4th, was it, or 5th, somewhere like that. Won 2 trophies. And then this year remains to be seen, but it looks like they're going to be around 9th, 10th again. Honestly, that should be setting alarm bells off if I'm a Chelsea fan. You know, the fact you've been mid-table twice, it's worrying for sure, man. It's very worrying. Both of us, neither are where we need to be. Yeah, I agree, Brian. I think both Liverpool and Chelsea have had very, very underwhelming seasons. I'm gonna be honest. It's like I said a minute ago when Josh mentioned the point. We're only in a top 5 battle. We're only sat 5th or 4th because the teams below us are as bad as they are. As bad as we've been, somehow Chelsea have managed to be worse. If Maresca had stayed at Chelsea, they probably would have been in a top 4 battle. I'll be honest. They probably would be above us right now as well. So they really stitched themselves up by getting rid of Enzo Maresca. I think they'd have been a lot better off if they kept him around. Or if you are going to replace him, upgrade him. You know what I'm saying? You don't replace him with a downgrade. You know, I don't particularly think Enzo Maresca is the greatest coach out there. I think he's a tad bit overrated. I don't rate him particularly high. He's not a manager I take at Liverpool. I'll say that. I don't think he's all that. However, he has shown that he can get over the line. He has shown he can win trophies, regardless of that. So, you know, yeah, he's a good coach. He's nothing amazing, but if you're going to replace him, you got to replace him with an upgrade. And, you know, from Maresca, an upgrade would probably be an Alonso, someone like that. You know, you could probably look at maybe a Simeone if you want to go really elite. You know what I'm saying? And Enrique, that's next level elite. So if you're going to get rid of an Enzo Maresca type manager, you have to replace him with another quality coach. You know, you don't replace him with someone who doesn't have any Premier League experience, isn't really fit to be a manager for a big club. It's never going to end well. And Chelsea fucked around and found out, didn't they? They fucked around and found out with Liam Messina. You got to ask what the fuck they were thinking by appointing him. You have to ask what the hell was going on in their heads when they went and scouted him. I know Strasbourg are owned by the same group that own Chelsea, so they're owned by the same people, so it was easy. But honestly, man, Chelsea are finished. Let's be honest about it, guys. Chelsea are a finished club. Perfect example there on how to bury a football club in a couple of years. Their ownership have only been there for, I want to say they came in 2022. So 2022, 23, 24, 25. They've only been there 5 years and they've completely buried Chelsea. You know what I'm saying? Gone over days where Chelsea were competing for the league. Gone over days where Chelsea were regularly in the Champions League, winning Prems, even winning Champions Leagues. You know what I'm saying? They've completely ruined their club, man. So honestly, man, it's a rough couple of years for Chelsea. I do think it's going to be a rough couple of years for them. I reckon Maresca goes to see. So do I, Brian. From what I've been reading, and from the stuff that pops up on my Instagram feed and everything, it looks like City are very, very keen on Enzo Maresca as that Pep replacement. Romano posted yesterday saying that Manchester City don't see anyone else as a Pep replacement but him. So it's looking more and more likely that City are going to go and get Maresca after Pep does leave, whether that's this season, next season. Honestly, personally, for me, I wouldn't be too excited if I was a City fan at the idea of Maresca. For the reasons I said there, you know, I don't think he's an elite manager. And I think coming in after Pep, you probably need someone who the City fans are going to be able to get behind, like the Bayern coach, Vincent, like maybe an Enrique. They need that proper coach. Maresca, for me, while he's proved he can win, he won a Conference League, guys. He won a Club World Cup. Pep's won a treble. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know if Angel Maresca is good enough to step into Pep Guardiola's shoes. I really don't know. Granted, he's a winner and he's proved himself to be able to win. But going to City, man, City have obviously it's a different City ownership are a lot different to Chelsea ownership. He'll have more funds at City, of course. They'll give him a lot more money, so that's a thing there. But honestly, man, I wouldn't be excited about that if I was a City fan. I'd be a bit nervous, especially coming in after Pep. To be fair, whoever goes into City after Pep is going to struggle. Let's be honest. Whatever manager goes into Manchester City after Pep Guardiola is going to struggle. Just because of who Pep Guardiola was and what he did there. It's going to be incredibly hard to live up to him. Just like us, man, I think we all kind of knew deep down after Jurgen Klopp left us, we would struggle and things wouldn't be as good as they were. And it's taken maybe 2 years, but we are seeing now the aftermath of life after Klopp, and it's not great. It's not a great feeling, I must say. Could City be headed down that route? I don't think so, because I think their hierarchy they haven't got a proper hierarchy in place. So I think they will be a lot better off than we are probably. But yeah, Maresca to City. Considering they were looking at Vincent, they were looking at Enrique. That's probably going to be a bit underwhelming for City fans, but who knows? Maybe he'll prove us wrong and he'll do well there. Blue Coal came in 2022, yeah. So 22, 23, 24, 25, 20. They've been here 5 years, haven't they, then, Brian? They've been at Chelsea for 5 years. I can't lie, I thought the Glazers were bad. And while the Glazers are bad, don't get me wrong, while the Tottenham ownership are bad, Blue Coal right down there with them for me, man. They really are. For me, Spurs have to have the worst ownership purely because of where they are in the league this season and what their ownership, the situation their ownership has got them in. United's ownership, we've known how bad they've been for years, haven't we? Chelsea's ownership, Blue Coal, completely clueless, man. Their lead, your club owner, Todd Bowley, is it? You can tell the guy knows fuck all about football. Every time I hear him speak, he knows fuck all about football, man. Real talk. He genuinely doesn't have a clue. And that's not a problem, but I feel Chelsea, for me, Blue Coal have shown that they're not scared to spend money. So they will spend money, they will splash a lot of money there. The issue I think Chelsea have is they don't have the footballing people in place that can make the correct decisions. They don't have a good sporting director in place that can oversee and bring proper players in. I think if you have the unlimited funds that they do, let's say you have Blue Coal's model of spending a lot, but you have a proper sporting director there and proper footballing people behind the scenes working on transfers and that, I think they'd be a lot better off. So I feel if Chelsea actually put a proper team in place, a transfer team, a sporting director, you'd probably see a lot better from them. The problem is they haven't done that, have they? Let's be honest, they haven't done that, and that's why it's all over the place, because you've got an owner who doesn't know nothing about football, and it's led to this. Yeah, Brian, man, to be fair, this is why, to an extent, I am a bit more lenient towards FSG, because while they're not the most ambitious and while they don't spend a lot of money, they're nowhere near running our club into the ground. You know what I'm saying? We're nowhere near any debt, financial debt. We're nowhere near FFP rules or breaches. While I don't rate them particularly highly, they've nowhere near buried our club. So that's something that I'll be grateful for. When I look at the likes of United, who have been buried under the Glazers, when I look at the likes of Chelsea, who have been buried under Blue Coal, even the Tottenham, who have been buried under their ownership, Enoch, I think it is. I think maybe I've got to be a bit more grateful that FSG haven't done that to us and they haven't got us in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? But I agree, Brian, it must shock as well, being a Chelsea fan in the early 2000s when Abramovich was, when Chelsea were at their peak and Abramovich owned the club. Again, Chelsea were winning a lot of shit, weren't they? Winning Prems, Champions Leagues, up there with United and Arsenal. Now they're where they are. It's mad. But honestly, for me, when people say, do I feel bad for Chelsea, Arsenal, United? No, I don't. I don't feel bad, because while I feel bad for the genuine Chelsea fans, the Arsenal fans and United fans, I don't, because I remember in the early 2000s, I know people who grew up in the early 2000s, people, and Chelsea fans were the loudest in school. United fans were the loudest in school. Arsenal fans were the loudest in school. Liverpool weren't great in the early 2000s. We weren't. I know we weren't. Um, it was hell going into school in the early 2000s as a Liverpool supporter. You couldn't talk big. You know, Chelsea fans would little bro you. United fans would little bro you. Arsenal fans would little bro you. So it wasn't a good feeling. It was not a good feeling. I remember. A lot of people have told me about it as well. So yeah, man. Now the tables have recently flipped, haven't they? In recent years. So I'd say I feel bad, but slightly I do hope it continues. But for the genuine Chelsea fans, like yourself, Brian, for the genuine United fans and Arsenal fans, I do feel your pain. I really do. But I agree. Blue Coal have officially they've killed Chelsea, man. They've properly killed them. However, I do think if you did put a proper footballing team in place and a proper footballing structure in place, I think um I think you'd probably be better off. Todd Bowley is a minor. Oh, he's a minor. Oh, okay. I thought he was their main owner. So he's a minority owner. It's Clear Lake Capital is the biggest problem. Oh, okay, Brian, I hear it. I hear that. I know Chelsea have been doing protests as well. I know Chelsea have protested a lot against their ownership and hierarchy. Hasn't done much though, has it? Let's be honest. It hasn't forced much change or anything. So yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? That is crazy. But at least they're taking action, I suppose, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? At least they're actually taking a bit of action against their board. It's not working, but again, if you stick at somewhere, eventually a message will come across. As for the game, guys, the rest of the game, yeah, Chelsea were the better side. Equalised. Can I just say, what the hell was going on for that equalising goal? That Enzo Fernandez free kick just went straight in. I don't know what Virgil and Ibu were doing, but that was very poor defending from us for that equaliser. Should have been prevented. Originally, I thought that Fofana had gotten a touch on it, but nah, it went straight in from Enzo Fernandez. Very, very poor goal to concede. Second half again, Chelsea made it 2-1 early on. I think Palmer scored, but it was ruled out for offside. A very, very close offside, but it was offside. We then went up the other end and scored, making it 2-1. But then our goal was ruled out, so there were 2 goals disallowed in the second half of the game. And then at the end of the game, honestly, I think Chelsea should have had a penalty. I can't lie, guys. I don't know what Frimpong was doing on Palmer, I think it was, but I felt we got away with one. I do think they should have had a penalty. King felt the same thing on the watch long, and I feel because it was at Anfield, maybe we got the benefit of a doubt in that decision. Maybe we got the benefit of a doubt. Maybe if that's at Stamford Bridge, that gets given. But Anfield Power, man, I think the refs decided not to give it. But the main highlight of the game was obviously the booing. The booing was the main highlight of the game. When Rio came off, a lot of fans weren't happy, and rightly so as well, man. I don't mind. I said this with Indian Scouser the other day. I don't mind bringing Isak on. We need a goal threat. Cool. No issue with him coming on. That's not the problem. The issue I have is Rio was the best winger on Saturday by far. Gakpo, I think, had a poor game. I would have taken Cody Gakpo and brought Isak on. He went out of his way to take Rio off for Isak, and that caused a big issue because, again, in a game where we weren't doing much, where we weren't making much happen, he takes our best attacker off, which makes zero sense. And rightfully so, the fans had enough, and the booing started. Booing happened then, and then at full times there were boos directed at him as well, which, to be fair, I'm surprised it's taken as long as it has, man. During the last protest, the Strasbourg fans flew. Oh, okay. So the Strasbourg fans flew in as well to join the protest. That's interesting. But yeah, boos at full time directed at Slot. Gravenberch came out and had a bit of a pop at the fans for booing. Now, I don't think Gravenberch really. I think he kind of misunderstood where the boos were aimed at. They weren't so much aimed at the players; they were more so aimed at the manager for his dumb decision to take Rio off. So, look, fans have had enough, man. It's very obvious that the fans in the ground don't want Slot in charge. The online fans don't want Slot in charge. The booing's now started. It's not nice. You know, it takes a lot for us to boo. It takes a lot for our club and our fans to boo. We're never anything but supportive to our players and our manager. The fact we're now booing says a lot about the situation we're in. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Once that starts, people, that only gets worse and it only gets more toxic. And it's better to just cut your corners and losses before that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, honestly, it's the fans have had enough. They've reached a boiling point, and I can't blame anyone. I cannot blame them for reaching boiling point because ultimately we're all feeling the same. You know what I'm saying? We're all feeling the same way. And I know our two sporting directors were in the ground for the game. Hopefully they saw that. Hopefully FSG saw that. Um, and fans have got to be both vocal, man. If we've got to be a bit toxic to force change, if we've got to boo, so be it. It's not nice. I don't want it. But if this is the only way we can force a change, so be it. You know what I'm saying? It's what we have to do. Um, the fans have had enough and they've spoken. And this is one thing that makes me incredibly happy about this. Um, I'm so happy that Liverpool fans are all on the same page on Slot and none of us are divided. I haven't met a single Liverpool fan that wants Arne Slot to stay. You know what I'm saying? There's no divide on this. We're all united against trying to get him out. And I hope that with how united we are, if we keep pushing, we can force change because we did it before. We did it with Hicks and Gillette. We forced change then. You know what I'm saying? I really hope that if we put it on the hierarchy, they will be forced into a change. I really do. So that's made me happy seeing at the weekend that all our fans are on the same page and that there's no divide. So that's a good thing, a really good thing. Rio 100% the player. I thought the goalkeeper was amazing. Yeah, Woodman had a good game. Rio again, he was the bright spark, wasn't he? In the wing, off the wing, he was the best attacker. So it really made no sense why he came off. It really not made no sense why he was taken off. By the way, Gary O'Neill, the Strasbourg manager, is called up. Okay, interesting, Brian. What's he said? What has he said about them? Obviously, it can't be something too nice, can it? But yeah, there's a slot out petition, guys. There is officially a slot out petition which has reached 1.5 million votes. So fans are voting, man. A lot of fans have signed the slot out petition. I've signed it 4 times. I can't lie. I've signed it 4 times. I signed it on my account. I signed it on my brother's account. Signed it on my sister's account, my dad's account, my mum's account. I signed it 4 times, 5 actually. I'm not screwing around on that. A lot of other fans have signed it as well. I'm sure rivals have probably signed it as well, but they're probably signed to keep him in. You're not sure? Okay, Brian, no problem. But yeah, there is a slot out petition. The fans started one of them on Twitter the other day, so that's interesting. Whether that reaches whether that forces any change, I don't know. But ultimately, I really don't see how he can stay. I really don't see how Arne Slot can stay, man. There's nothing that should suggest he gets another season when you look at how this one's gone. If I was seeing something, if I was seeing a plan, if I was seeing some sort of patterns of play, then I could sit there and say, okay, it's not great, but I can see what you mean. You know what I'm saying? I can see what you mean, or what you're trying to get across, and what we're trying to do. I don't see what we're trying to do with Slot. I don't see what football we're trying to play. I don't see what direction we're going in. I don't see where he wants us to go in, or what direction he's trying to take us in. Nothing suggests he gets another season. Really doesn't. I know. Look, they're saying there's going to be a review at the end of the season. In that review, what could suggest that he gets another season? Genuinely, real talk. Nothing should suggest he gets another year. Like FSG are numbers people. As much as I don't like FSG and I got my issues against them, they are smart people. They're not dumb. They're numbers people. We look at the number sheets, and the number sheet is going to say that we spent 400 million, almost 5, if Guehi had happened, if the Guehi deal went through, and we regressed. We didn't win nothing. That's what my number sheets are going to say. You know what I'm saying? So if Slot stays, it's going to get bad. That's only a taste of what's to come, low-key, because the last stadium on earth you want to be toxic is Anfield, because if Anfield is toxic, you know something bad's happened, because it takes a lot for Liverpool fans to get toxic and start booing. But it happened at the weekend, and now that it started, it'll only get worse. It will only get worse. So I think change has to happen, and I think it will. I think again, hierarchies, they don't care about online fans so much. I think the online fans are just noise to them. They don't look at online fans as real fans. Regardless of whatever club you support, they see you as kind of a nuisance. But I feel when it's the fans in the ground kicking off, when fans are leaving early, when fans aren't showing up to watch, when there aren't people watching in the stands, when there are empty seats there, when it's hurting the balance books, when when people aren't buying the club merch, that's when I think clubs start to take notice, because then they think, okay, hang on, we're not getting money, we're not making the money we want to make. People aren't buying the club merch, people aren't going to watch games. That's when I think really, change happens, low key. And it's a shame that that's the way you've got to go. You shouldn't have to boo to force change. Your club hierarchy should have that want and will to win. You know what I'm saying? The fact we have to boo to get a change or make something happen is crazy. No one wants to be toxic. No one wants to be negative. No one wants to do stuff like that. But if you're going to be ignorant and ignore fans and try and, take the piss and accept mediocrity, this is what happens. Low key, fans have enough, and I don't blame them. And again, our fans have not had enough on it as well. So, look, review at the end of the season. Do the right thing, man. Do it mutually, man. Don't even sack the guy if you don't want to. End mutually. He departs ways mutually. Put out a statement saying Liverpool and Slot parted ways mutually. Don't give him another season, because I can tell you what's going to happen now. He'll get another summer window. He'll bring in another couple players that will, again, fuck our squad up even more than it has done. He won't be able to get the best out of the players we already have this year that are going to go into their second year next year. He won't get the best out of the new signings he brings in. He won't be able to. I'm telling you, he won't be able to. We'll start the season off poorly. We'll be bottom half come November, December time. And then when he's sacked eventually, apologies, my green screen's playing up a bit there. There we go. And then when he is eventually sacked in November time, we're screwed because no one's available. Now we have an opportunity. If it's not Xabi Alonso, okay, cool. It's annoying. I would prefer Xabi, but there are other managers out there currently available for us. In November, we won't have other managers available. A lot of them will be gone at clubs. So, real talk, this Alonso to Chelsea situation is pissing me off. I'm seeing a lot on it. And the fact that I'm reading that Liverpool are going to let Chelsea have a free hit at him to back Slot is really pissing me off. It really is pissing me off. I'm not going to lie. How stupid can you be? How dumb can you actually be, man? I reckon I reckon Liverpool get Xabi Alonso and we get Felipe Luis. Felipe Luis, who's that again? You're going to have to remind me, Brian. Felipe Luis. I've heard the name before. Just can't remember where. But I do think we get Alonso. I think the club are going to have no choice but to listen, man. Otherwise, it's going to get really toxic. Luis in England at the moment doing his A license. Okay. Interesting, Brian. Okay. Interesting, man. Man U had a protest about their owners a few years ago. I remember, Clive. Man United fans stormed the pitch, I think, didn't they? Did they not storm the pitch? It was the game against us, actually. They got the game called off by storming the pitch. So United fans have shown that they have the power to make things happen when they want to. And their ownership did respond when they did that. And I hope our ownership responds if we're forced into something mad as well. But yeah, this looks like the only way you can force change nowadays, people. It's not nice. And the fact fans have to do this is crazy, but it looks like the only way we can do it. But if Liverpool let Xabi Alonso go to Chelsea, that is not going to go down well. It really is not going to go down well. Fans are going to lose their shit. They really are going to lose their shit. I don't want to hear no one calling Xabi Alonso a rat or a snake if he goes to Chelsea. He would take that Liverpool job in a heartbeat. If we called him, he'd be in Liverpool by the end of the day. If we called him today, he'd be here by the afternoon, evening. He would choose Liverpool in a heartbeat over Chelsea. We know he would. You've got to blame our incompetent sporting directors for being stubborn and not wanting to reach out to him. And it begs the question here now, why are the boards so hesitant to go for Alonso and why do they want to back Slot? And I've come to a conclusion here now. I feel Arne Slot is a yes man. I think it's blatantly obvious he's a yes man. He protects the board. He's a good little boy doesn't say nothing up against, doesn't talk up against the board, and he's someone they can push around and control. You know what I'm saying? And I think Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes want a yes man. That's what I think personally. I think with Xabi Alonso, they feel threatened by him because he's a club legend. He has that aura about him. He's proved himself as a winner. He didn't take no shit at Madrid. So he went to Real Madrid, people, and he didn't take no shit there. So he certainly won't take any shit at Liverpool. They feel threatened by him because he won't be a yes man. They won't be able to push him around. And he has that ability, being who he is, having his status, to unite the club and the fan base. And I feel that threatens them. That threatens them and they don't like it. Which is why they want to keep their yes man slot in charge. I remember when Klopp was in charge here, they were all fighting a losing battle. Hughes wasn't around at this point. Edwards, particularly, I know, didn't like him. Him and Klopp had a falling out. And he pissed off. He left because, you know what, at the end of the day, he knew that fans would choose Jurgen Klopp any day of the week over Michael Edwards. So he pissed off. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the second Jurgen announced he was leaving, Edwards came back. You know what I'm saying? The man is a control freak. You know what I'm saying? Under Klopp, you were never going to win. And even now, with Alonso coming in, you're not going to win because fans will choose Alonso over you guys. So it's a matter of ego here. It's a matter of people just wanting a yes man in charge. People just wanting people in charge who are just going to be good little boys. Which is why I feel a lot of our legends are getting pushed out as well at the moment. So yeah, our club have got a big decision to make. I still think Chelsea and Alonso is a bit of a mad one. Look, Madrid was a toxic environment. We've seen what's happened there recently. Chelsea, no disrespect, guys, it is another toxic environment. If he goes Chelsea and doesn't do well, that's a big stain on his management career because then that's 2 back-to-back clubs he's done poorly at. I feel Liverpool is a lot more of a stable place to be at right now, or a stable place to come to right now. Yeah, I really do, man. I really do. The former Flamengo manager who beat... Oh, is that him? Yeah. And he was a player as well. Yeah, Brian, I remember now. I remember. Apparently, he's not a bad manager either. Apparently, he's not a bad coach either. So, yeah, man, I hear it. So I feel Alonso should be hesitant to go to Chelsea. I really do. But at the end of the day, he's not going to wait around forever, is he? Xabi Alonso is not going to wait around forever for the Liverpool call, is he? He is going to want to manage again at some point. And it looks like he wants a Prem job this summer as well. So, yeah, man. Honestly, I do feel he's holding out for Liverpool, I can't lie. I do feel the reason why the Chelsea thing hasn't advanced as much as it should have is because he's holding out for Liverpool. I genuinely believe that. It's going to be very interesting, this Alonso saga, because it's now looking like it's going to be either Liverpool or Chelsea where he goes next. It should be Liverpool because of who he is. But again, you've got to blame our board and you've got to ask what the fuck our board are doing. You know what I'm saying? Along with the manager situation, we've now got more contract issues to deal with. You know, Arne Slot is going into the last year of his contract and we haven't got a clue what's going on. There's been no talks of an extension. Touch wood, there's not either. Both Hughes and Edwards are going into their last years of their contract as sporting directors. The Konate situation again is looking a bit mad. Now, apparently, it's not looking so positive again. You know, 1 minute we're hearing Konate's talks are advancing well. Another minute it's stalled. Another minute it's off. Then it's back on. Then it's stalled. Then it's back on again. Now again, they're saying it's not so positive. So we don't know what's going to happen there. Alisson and Van Dijk, we don't know what's going to happen with those two. Honestly, man, there's a lot of shit going on at the moment that we haven't got a clue what's going to happen next with. We don't know whether we're going to lose Alisson in the summer. That's 50-50 currently, isn't it? Van Dijk, again, we don't know. There's talks on him to Galatasaray now, interestingly. So, again, we don't know what the fuck's going on. It's all a big problem at the moment. Contracts running down. And again, we're doing the exact same thing we did with Trent, with Salah, with Van Dijk last season. We're letting people get into the last year of their contracts. McAllister's contract's coming up as well soon. Why do we always do this? It annoys me. Why do we always let players go into the last year of their contracts and not do nothing. And then you spend the whole season stressing whether will they stay, will they stay, will they go, what's going to happen. Honestly, real talk, man. Real talk. Van Dijk and Salah never should have been allowed to get into the last year of their contracts. They should have been renewed a lot sooner. Let's be honest about it. They should have been renewed a lot sooner. Salah, the same thing. Trent, obviously, look, you couldn't do nothing about that. He made his mind up. But it's very, very, very incompetent. And for people who are meant to be smart, it doesn't come across very smart when you allow stuff like this to happen. Let's be honest. It doesn't come across smart at all. Interesting. Breaking. According to Sky Sports, Man United have opened talks with Michael Carrick to become their permanent manager. I can't lie, Brian. That is such a dumb decision. That genuinely is such a dumb decision. And that shows just how bad and how incompetent United's board are. You know what I'm saying? When you think our board are bad, just look at that decision there. What a dumbass decision. What a dumbass decision, man. That is not going to end well. But again, are you surprised that they've made that decision? No, I'm not. I'm certainly not. They did the same thing with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer back in 2019 when he had a good blip. Gave him the job and boom, it completely fell apart. So, honestly, I knew they were going to be dumb enough to give him the job because that's just the way they are. What qualifications has that guy got to be the Man United manager? Real talk. What has he got? The man couldn't even hack it at Middlesbrough. He got sacked by Middlesbrough people. And now United fans are falling over themselves, thinking he's going to be the next big thing. They don't learn, man. They really don't learn. They do this every time. Every time a new manager comes in, he starts well. They all get on their high horses. They all start saying this, that. We're back. We're this now. You watch it a couple months' time. Watch at Christmas time. They're all going to be calling for Carrick's head. I'm telling you now. They're all going to be calling. They will turn on him because they turned on Amrin when they were kissing his ass to begin with. They turned on Ten Hag when they were kissing his ass to begin with. They'll do the same with Michael Carrick, watch. And then the cycle will continue. They'll then get a new guy in. He'll start well. They'll all be on their high horses again. And the cycle will continue, man. Which is why when people ask me, are you worried about United in years to come? No, I'm not. There's nothing more unbearable on this planet than speaking to a happy Man United fan. You think Arsenal fans are bad guys? You haven't seen United fans when they're actually winning and doing well. There's not a more unbearable set of fans than Man United when they're doing well. And I stand by that. But thank you, Brian. Thank you, man. I haven't seen that yet because I've been streaming. I'll have a look at that when I come off and I'll have a look what's going on there. But genuinely, man, that is such a dumb decision. I don't know how Rasta feels. I'm gonna have to send that over to Rasta after the stream ends as well. Get his opinion on that. I'm sure you won't be too happy with it, but yeah, not Chelsea, Man United again. Dumb decision, and that's not gonna end well. That is not gonna end well for them. They will end up sacking him again, and they'll end up being in the market again for a coach, and then boom, the cycle continues, doesn't it? But fuck Manchester United. They can what for like it. Respectfully. Yeah, Clive Oxford, you've seen it as well, obviously. That is madness. There's going to be a lot of manager changes this summer, isn't there? You know, Liverpool, City potentially, Spurs if they stay up, but I think they'll probably keep De Zerbi around. Chelsea obviously looking for one. Arsenal are now keeping Arteta. Madrid are going to be in the hunt for a manager. Looks like Mourinho's going back there. By the way, I don't know if anyone saw the Perez interview yesterday. That was absolute madness. I mean, the guy came out completely swinging. He's completely lost the plot, man. Real talk. But again, fuck Madrid. Long may they continue to suffer as well. Can't stand them lot. Who else is going to be looking for a new coach? Atletico potentially as well, because I heard that Simeone's going to be leaving. So there's going to be a lot of manager switches around this summer. A lot of changes, a lot of new faces. And I think it'll be good for the league because I do think we all need a bit of a change. We all need some new young managers coming in with the right idea. You know what I'm saying? One thing I'm liking in the modern game now is I feel that this possession brand of football that was so popular maybe 2-3 years ago is dying out. You know, you see PSG, you see Bayern Munich, the two very attacking teams. They're not a possession-based team. And a couple of years ago, everyone wanted to play this possession brand that Pep plays. So it's nice to see that teams are starting to go back to this all-out attack, fuck defending, fuck keeping the ball, attack, attack, attack. And it is good to see that Pep's boring brand of football is starting to die out. As good as Pep is, I can't stand this football, man. I really can't. What did Perez say? If you go on Sky, Brian, or if you go and watch back the full-time vibe show towards the end, we did touch on it, but he came out saying some crazy stuff, Brian. He started comparing himself to an animal, which was weird as fuck. He started defending the fighting between Valverde and Tucumeni, which is mad. He started trying to make out there's a conspiracy against Madrid. You know, people are trying to make sure they don't do well. He's trying to make out that people are trying to run him out of the club. Just again, a lot of excuse making, not taking accountability. That guy is finished. He is finished, man. And he is going to run Madrid into the ground if he stays. I'm telling you now. He is going to run them into the ground if he stays. So, yeah, man, I say keep him around. I never understood personally this love for Madrid that people have. I never understood it. They're a scum club. They're scum. They're a scum club. Their fans are scumbags. They don't have no class. They don't show up to Ballon d'Or ceremonies just because they don't win it. Like, who the hell do you think you are? I can't stand Real Madrid, and seeing them be in this position, struggling in the mud. Long may it continue. Yeah, Brian, man, no problem. Yeah, man, but it was crazy. He's completely lost it. He has completely lost the plot. So, yeah, man. Madrid are screwed. Madrid are screwed, man. You can probably put a bet on Barcelona being the La Liga champions again next year. Looks like they want to bring Mourinho back as well. So, honestly, there's no one with a bigger ego around in the world than Jose Mourinho, is there? So, players will be forced to listen to Mourinho. But honestly, man, don't even be surprised if they don't listen to him. Low key. I feel Perez has been way too pampering, man, of Madrid players. Hence why the situation you have now. A couple of them have been going. Well, apparently, a couple of Madrid players have actually been getting their parents to ring Perez up, complaining that their kids aren't getting enough game time, which is fucking crazy. Madrid players actually want to keep Arbeloa. You know, apparently a couple of them went to Perez's office to ask him to keep Arbeloa in charge. Like, that is mad. You know, it's obvious that they like him because they can push him around. It's very obvious that that's why they like him and they want him to stay, which is madness. So, yeah, man, Madrid, their players need to be put in check real quick, or they're going to have a big issue for years to come. Marco Silva to Benfica. I can't lie, I'm surprised he'd leave Fulham. I think Marco Silva's got it good at Fulham, man. Again, he's at a club that I think probably shoots to the level of manager he is. If he goes to Benfica, I can't lie. Would you lose a bit of respect for him with how Benfica have acted recently? Probably, yeah. But honestly, Brian, how about Ruben Amorim to Benfica? Amorim will probably want to manage again. I don't think he'd mind going back to Portugal. I can see that, you know. If Mourinho leaves Benfica to go back to Madrid, I could see them going in for Ruben Amorim as his replacement. I really could. Man. But yeah, I don't think Mourinho is what he used to be. Can he still be effective at Madrid, though? I think he can. Because the quality of players they do have some quality players there, man. And, you know, you'd be crazy not to get a tune out of them. So, I think Mourinho should do well at Madrid if he goes there. He's got a good set of players, man. Bellingham is a typical Mourinho player. It'll be interesting seeing what he does with Trent. I'm very intrigued to see what Mourinho would do with Trent. And it's funny, yeah, because Trent went most of his career at Liverpool, having only played for one coach in Jurgen Klopp. He's now played under 3 coaches in quick succession in 2 years. He's played for Slot, Alonso, and Arbeloa. Could potentially going to be 4 now with Mourinho. So that is mad how he went most of his career, having only played under Jurgen Klopp, to now playing under 4 managers in 2 years. So what Mourinho does with Trent will be interesting. I'll be interested to see how he utilises someone like that. I wonder if Trent's regretting that move now. I've got to sit there and I've got to wonder to myself, the shithouse in me, the dickhead in me, is thinking, are you regretting your move now, you snake? Are you now regretting your move? Because look at that drama that's happening there. And I think a lot of people knew, while I didn't play on his downfall, I don't like him. I think he's a right. He can fuck himself. But I'll never play on a player's downfall. I wonder if he's now thinking if he made a mistake going to or moving to Real Madrid. I really do wonder. I really do wonder, man. I really do wonder about it. So yeah, man. Grass ain't always greener on the other side, is it, Trent? And I think he's finding that out now. He's finding that out very, very quickly as well. So honestly, if one of Valverde or Tuchumeni does leave, which is very likely now after that fight, can't see them working together again or playing together again. I'd be eyeing up Tuchumeni. I can't lie, I would be, and I'm sure a lot of other big clubs around Europe will be eyeing him up as well for sure. So the Madrid saga is very interesting for sure. It's very, very, very interesting. But I don't give a fuck because it's not my club. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, all I care about is for Liverpool to do what we need to do and bring in the coach we need to bring in, get the signings we need to bring in the summer, and we go again next year. That's all I give a crap about at the end of the day, people. That's all that's all I want, man. As long as my club is up there doing what we need to be doing, fuck the rest. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the rest. They can do whatever they want. So yeah. Next season, I think will be a bit more competitive. I'm hoping it will be a better season as well. As for this season, from our perspective, not been where it needs to be. Been very, very disappointing for me, especially because I went into this season with so much optimism, so much confidence, so much expectation, and just so much buzz that we were going to go back to back and win something big again. Now, if we didn't win the Prem, I was sure we were going to do well in the champs. And for the season to pan out the way it has, for it to be as disappointing as it has, it's been annoying. It's been really upsetting, man. It's been very, very upsetting. So I can't wait for this nightmare season to be over. It's definitely a learning curve for the future. And it's definitely a lesson that spending money doesn't always lead to success, you know what I'm saying? Because we've spent a lot and it hasn't led to success, has it? Let's be honest. In fact, we've gone backwards, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a learning curve this season, and I think we learn from this going forward, you know what I'm saying? I do feel FSG are probably going to go back to being a bit more tight arse now. I feel they're going to look at it from a perspective of we spent all this money, we spent a lot, and we've gone backwards. So I feel they probably will be hesitant now to spend more money under a new coach because they backed Slot with all this money, gave him all these funds, and he's taken us backwards. So I feel they're going to be hesitant now in the future to give him more money or even to give a new manager money if a new manager comes in. So yeah, Slot has unintentionally probably fucked us over in that aspect as well. So like I said, season to forget about and a season to end as quick as possible. So happy that there's only 2 more games to go. Villa on Friday and obviously Brentford on the final day. I'm so fucking happy that we're playing the early kickoff as well. I can't lie. With the first game on the Friday night, I can get slot ball watched out and done with, and then enjoy the rest of the weekend and sit back. That's one thing that I'm relatively happy about. So yeah, people, man. Yeah. But with Chelsea game, honestly, I think we were lucky to get a point. I think on the balance of play, they were the better side, and honestly, I think we can probably be counting our blessings that we got a point out of that. It's a worse result on us than it is them. Let's be honest. It's a good result for them considering they came into the game off the back of 6 L's in a row. Good point at Anfield for us. Again, off the back of the United defeat, you'd expect a reaction. We didn't get one. They had a reaction, and the result looks worse on us. And it looks even worse when an interim coach coach Slot again. That's another issue. So yeah, people, man, it's certainly a season to forget about. And yeah, I'm gonna head off, man. It's been a great show, people. Coming up to an hour and 15 minutes. It's been class as always. Big up to you all. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be dropping my match preview for the Villa game, and I'll be going live discussing it. Friday we'll have the watch long and match reaction, of course, and then Saturday we'll have the aftermath stream. But yeah, great chat as always, people. Apologies that I've put off talking about the Chelsea game till a Wednesday, but I've had other stuff to do. So yeah, Big up, man, of course, and appreciate you all. I'll be back tomorrow. And yeah, I'll shout everyone out before I do go. Big up Clive, man. Apologies, people. Big up Clive. Just completely lagged out there. Apologies, everyone. Can you still hear me, guys? Can you still hear me? Can you guys still hear me? Getting StreamYard, man, doing up madness again. But yeah, I do apologize on my end for that. Yeah, you guys can hear me. So big up, Brian. Appreciate you being in as always, Brian. Bless up to Clive. Yeah, you can still hear me. Big up, Brian, man. Big up, Clive. Was there anyone else in that I missed earlier? Big up Josh as well, man. Guys, make sure you do sub to Josh. Doing some great stuff over on his channel. Big up Huge as well, as always. And is there anyone else that I missed? No, that's everyone. It is an early morning stream, so I don't expect much people to be in anyway. But yeah, big up to you all, man. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Profit out in a bit. Up the Reds. See you later. Let's go. I'm out. Peace.